Hello there, and welcome to Whispers to Sleep. My name is David, and I'm truly honored to be your guide tonight. Here we believe sleep is not just a routine. It's a gentle journey, a quiet return to peace every night. I craft stories with care, so your mind can rest and your body can soften all you need to do. Let go, take a slow deep breath in, and as you breathe out, allow the day to melt away. Close your eyes. Get cozy under the covers and let my voice lead you into calm, into comfort, into dreams. This is your time. Your memento, truly relax. Let's begin. You walk through the evening mist, your feet soft against the mossy path. Each step makes less sound than the one before it. The trees hush their leaves as if they too are ready to sleep. Ahead, the cottage waits, a warm shape of memory, and welcome, wrapped in a quiet golden glow. You've never been here before, and yet it feels like you've always known the way. The door is half open. You step inside, and the world changes. Gone is the rush, the noise, the list of things left undone. In here, only warmth lives, a soft fire crackles, and time has loosened its grip. You place your shoes by the door, like laying down your thoughts one by one. You are safe. You are home. The room smells of cedar and rain. You breathe in, slowly, and feel it unfurl down your spine like silk. With that breath, something else exhales. Tension, held somewhere in your shoulders, now begins to melt. The nervous system, the body's great communicator, begins to change its song. It hums now, not shouts. During the day, your sympathetic system moves fast, always preparing. Should I run? Should I fix? Should I hold everything together? It's useful, of course. It kept you standing tall. But now, as night folds around you, another rhythm takes its place. The parasympathetic system, your body's rest and digest network, steps forward like a soft conductor raising their hand. Your pulse, once sharp, begins to round. Your breathing deepens, slower now, pulling you inward like the tide. Inside your brain, the amygdala, that watchful guard, starts to dim its alertness. And in the quiet, your senses begin to widen rather than focus. Noticing, receiving, unclenching, you sink into the soft chair by the fire. It embraces you with the kind of warmth that has no need to speak. Outside the windows, the forest sighs. The wind combs gently through the pines. Inside, you are still, but not empty. You are present, and now something beautiful begins, as the nervous system shifts into balance. Your heart rate slows just slightly. Tiny sensors inside your heart and blood vessels send messages upward, not to rush, but to relax. This is the first invitation to sleep, and your body listens. Your temperature begins to drop, gently. The body knows what the mind forgets. That cooling leads to comfort. The pineal gland, hidden deep in your brain, prepares to release melatonin. It waits until the light fades, until safety wraps you like a blanket. That time is now. You close your eyes, not to shut out the world, but to turn toward a softer one. Inside you, trillions of cells begin to wind down. Electricity pulses more slowly through your neurons, like lanterns dimming in a village after sundown. There is no rush to the dark, only ease, only trust. And while you rest, your body shifts further into what science calls homeostasis balance. Here, blood pressure lowers, digestive enzymes slow. Cortisol, that daytime chemical that stirs attention, begins to fall away. A stone sinking into a still pond. This moment is more than comfort. It's an agreement between body and brain. We can pause. We are allowed to stop. You've earned that stillness. You notice your hands, once clenched, are now open in your lap. Your jaw has softened. Your shoulders, heavier now, settle into the shape of calm. And without trying, you've started to yawn, a signal. A ceremony, a rite of passage. Even yawns are part of this slow transformation. They stretch the jaw, flood the brain with oxygen, shift the gears from alert to ease. Science sees it as preparation. The soul might call it surrender. This doorway, this threshold between wakefulness and sleep, is not a place you rush through. It's sacred. It's the space where you decide to let go and trust that your body will carry you the rest of the way. Outside, the wind whispers against the wooden walls. Inside, your thoughts drift like feathers. The cottage does not ask anything of you. It only gives warmth, silence, time got and still. You do not sleep. Not yet. This is the moment just before. The golden pause. The breath held gently between. One world and another. You sense the change in your body, in your breath, in your very self. The external world no longer tugs at you. Now you listen only to the rhythms within. To your breath. To your heart. To the gentle message in your chest. You're safe. You can rest. The chair beneath you cradles your weight like water. Gravity feels softer now. It doesn't pull you down. It holds you. The fire crackles, a soft heartbeat in the room. Its rhythm mirrors your own. You are not asleep, but you are no longer entirely awake. This is the doorway to stillness, Dot, and through this doorway lies something deeper. A breath that becomes a tide that carries you inward, where the body breathes not just air, but calm, and the breath teaches the brain to let go. Perhaps now, you're ready to follow that breath, into its rhythm, into its language, into the quiet language of breathing. There is a sound beneath all other sounds, a rhythm so familiar, it hides in plain presence. In and out, inhale, exhale, a tide that never stops, though you rarely notice its waves. But here, in the stillness of the cottage, you begin to. Listen. The air around you is cool, fragrant with pine and quiet firewood. And as you sit in its warmth, your breath becomes a gentle guide. You inhale slowly. You feel the air travel through your nose, down your throat, into the wide cathedral of your lungs. And there, something opens. Your lungs are not just sacs of air. They are the wings of your nervous system, lifting you with every breath. Their expansion presses softly on the diaphragm, a sheet of muscle that moves like a tide beneath your ribs. And with each breath, the diaphragm massages your inner world. But there is something else, something more ancient, that stirs when you breathe deeply. The vagus nerve, long and winding, awakens. It is the quiet thread that connects your brain to your heart, your lungs, your gut, a line of calm that hums with each exhale. When you breathe slowly, this nerve listens. It hears safety in the rhythm, and in return, it sends messages through your body. Relax, let go, slow down. Like a mother humming softly beside a cradle, it soothes without a word. You breathe again, deeper now, and you notice your heart. Rate eases, the tension in your jaw unknots. Even your thoughts seem less sharp, more like watercolor than ink. You've done nothing grand, only breath. Science calls this parasympathetic activation, but you might call it remembering how to be. Your breath was never something to control, but something to follow. Like the rhythm of a tide against the shore of your chest. Picture your lungs not as machinery, but as oceans cradled in your ribs. Each inhale, a wave swelling. Each exhale, the sea retreating, drawing stress with it. Back into the quiet deep dot, and inside this movement, something miraculous happens. Your bloodstream listens. Oxygen, that invisible nourishment, travels to every cell, like moonlight touching the surface of every leaf in a sleeping forest. And with each cycle, your body thanks you. The air is invisible, but it moves you. The breath is silent, but it teaches you. It teaches you that stillness is not stagnation, but rhythm. A giving and a receiving. A soft exchange with the world. You rest your hand lightly on your belly and feel it rise and fall. Not with force. Not with urgency. Just the natural rhythm of life, remembering itself in this still moment. You reflect. How often do you hold your breath? In moments of fear, of rush, of worry, you clench without knowing. You trap the tide, but now you release it. And in that release, your brain changes. Studies have shown that slow, deliberate breathing alters the activity in the yao. Brain's limbic system, the part that feels fear, processes emotion, responds to pain. Like a dimmer switch, breath softens the brightness of worry. The brain follows the breath. Where breath slows, thought slows too. You sit with that knowledge, not as fact, but as feeling. A breath in, a breath out. Your mind begins to drift, not in chaos, but in gentle current. Like leaves on a lazy stream, some ancient part of you has always known this. Infants, before they speak, breathe with their bellies, deep and natural. Animals, when safe, breathe long and low. Breath has always been the language of peace. You take another slow inhale, feeling the ribs expand sideways like wings unfurling. The air is cool, but comforting. It touches your throat like a whisper, and then the exhale, longer than the inhale, a signal to the nervous system. We are safe. Let the guards rest. That exhale carries weight. It carries heat. It carries the molecules of stress, carbon dioxide, tension, unspoken stories, and releases them. Like letting go of a balloon, watching it float beyond your grasp. You are not controlling your breath. You are listening to it. And through that listening, you begin to know yourself differently. Not as thought, not as worry, but as rhythm. Breath reminds you that you are not your to-do list. You are not your tension. You are the space in which those things move in this quiet cottage, lit only by fire and breath. You sit with the soft miracle of lungs, the ancient technology of peace built into your chest. And you realize you've been breathing all your life, but only now are you letting it guide you home. With every breath, you sink deeper, into chair, into self, into that sacred in-between where sleep begins to stir, not with force, not with effort, only with exhale. The vagus nerve hums low, like a cello beneath your skin, and somewhere in your chest, your heart begins to follow. You are not floating, you are resting, not escaping, returning and in this resting, you become aware of something new, something deeper still. The breath is more than a tool for calm. It is a gate, and just beyond that gate, the heart waits, listening too. Your hand rests quietly on your chest. You feel it, that soft, steady thump. It doesn't ask for attention, but it is always there, marking each moment with a rhythm uniquely yours. The heart has no voice, and yet it speaks. With every beat, it tells a story of how you're feeling, of how safe you are, of how deeply you're beginning to rest. This isn't just poetry, it's science. Your heart isn't just a pump. It's a sensor, a communicator, a listener. It sends signals to your brain, not just about blood, but about emotion, safety, and balance. More messages travel from your heart to your brain than the other way around. With each breath you've taken, the heart has followed, speeding up with each inhale, slowing down with each exhale. This dance has a name: respiratory sinus arrhythmia. A gentle wave. Inhale, quicken. Exhale, calm. Your heart is listening to your breath and adjusting in real time. As your breathing slows, your heart softens its rhythm. It becomes more coherent, a steady, harmonic pattern. Scientists call this heart rate variability, or HRV. High variability isn't chaos. It's a sign of flexibility, of health. Like a river that adapts to its curves, a healthy heart shifts with your inner world. It responds to emotions, to movement, to calm. And right now, your heart is choosing calm. In the soft glow of the fire. As your body sinks deeper into the warmth of the chair, your heart no longer races. It pulses slowly, like the low roll of thunder far off in a dream. Each beat a whisper, "You are safe." Gentle rhythm influences more than blood. It speaks directly to your brain's limbic system, the emotional control room of the mind. When your heart beats in harmony, your thoughts follow. You might feel suddenly more at peace, less tangled in worries that once felt sharp. This is not magic. This is your biology in balance. Even memory softens here. Studies show that the heart's rhythms can influence how we store memories, especially emotional ones. Your heart, in a way, helps your mind decide what matters enough to keep. Right now, all that matters is this breath, this beat, this moment. Close your eyes. Picture your heart not as a mechanical thing, but as a glowing orb, a small sun. Within your chest, radiating warmth through every vessel. It doesn't just move blood. It moves feeling. Have you noticed how your chest tightens with stress? How it opens with love? That's the heart speaking its own language, a language of tension and release. And here, in this still place between the forest and sleep, your heart begins to speak gently again. You may not understand the words, but your body does. You sense an openness, an invitation to soften. And as you sit with this awareness, you realize your heart has been waiting for you to listen. This moment, this quiet harmony between breath and beat, is your body's definition of peace. Science calls this cardiac coherence, when the rhythms of your heart, breath, and nervous system align. It's measurable, trainable. But here, now, it's simply natural. It happens not through effort, but through stillness. You lean back into the chair and feel your heart not as a muscle, but as a metronome setting the pace for the symphony. Inside you, each beat sends waves of energy through your body, through your brain, through your very sense of self. And as these waves grow calmer, something else begins to emerge, a feeling of presence, of groundedness, of coming home. The mind often wanders, but the heart always stays. It doesn't drift into the past. It doesn't leap into the future. It beats now, and now is all you need. As you drift in this gentle rhythm, your thoughts lose their sharp edges. They float, not race. You begin to remember what it feels like to feel whole. Not perfect, not finished, just whole, in breath, in beat, in being. You're not doing anything to deserve this moment. You are simply allowing it, letting your body return to its own wisdom. And what a quiet wisdom it is. Your heart, once strained by the noise of the day, now moves in a pattern like gentle waves, predictable, calming, safe. This is your internal lullaby, a beat that has cradled you from before you were born, a beat that continues even as you sleep, even as you dream. You listen now, not with ears, but with presence. You rest your awareness there, in your chest, in your heartbeat, in that soft thud that says, "You are here." And in that here, there is space. Space to feel, space to heal, space to let go. There is nothing to fix, nothing to analyze, only the pulse, only the moment. And slowly, you begin to wonder if your heart can listen, can remember. Can it also help you forget? Forget the wait, forget the rush, forget the constant holding. What if your heart could carry some of that for you? You place your trust there, not in thought, but in rhythm. And the rhythm responds. You are not alone in your body. You are supported by it. And as the night deepens outside the cottage walls, your heart continues to hum its ancient tune, a tune that has always led you inward, toward stillness, toward sleep, toward the quiet garden of your mind. The fire has dimmed to a low orange glow, its embers like distant stars scattered across a quiet sky. You've listened to your breath. You've followed your heartbeat. Now, something deeper calls, a stirring in the space behind your eyes. Your body is still, but your mind begins to wander into softer landscapes. Close your eyes. Imagine your brain not as a machine, not as circuitry or wires, but as a garden at night. Vast, blooming, alive dot in this garden, there are no weeds of worry, only pathways gently lit, where thoughts tiptoe like deer at the forest's edge. Neurons, your brain's messengers, flicker like fireflies. They do not sleep when you do. They whisper in patterns, forming the quiet hum of unconscious life. Tonight, they are gardeners. They prune. They strengthen. They decide what stays and what fades away. All day long, your brain receives information, emotion, reaction, some of it useful, some of it noise. And now, in this still moment, the sorting begins. This is the work of slow wave sleep, a deep phase where the brain's activity slows like a lake under moonlight. You feel nothing changing, but inside, your mind is sweeping, clearing, reorganizing, making sense of everything it could not understand in daylight. A network deep in the brain, the hippocampus, now hums gently. It plays back the day's experiences, like film reels in a darkened room. What was confusing, it clarifies. What was painful, it softens. What was joyful, it cherishes. Memories aren't just kept, they are grown, cultivated in this fertile dark, and the garden does not grow alone. A hidden river begins to flow now, the glymphatic system, a newly discovered miracle that only awakens when you rest on. It clears waste, flushing away old proteins, chemical byproducts, small bits of cellular dust that gathered during the day. All of it swept clean by this gentle tide that runs through the brain's valleys. This is healing you cannot see, a cleansing not of skin or wound, but of thought, of space, of mind. And how quietly it all happens. No noise, no strain, only the soft rustle of neurons in conversation, only the movement of memory becoming you. You might picture it like this: a quiet gardener walking through your brain with a glowing lantern, pausing here to tend a sprout of knowledge, lingering there to trim away an old fear. Each time you sleep deeply, this garden thrives. And so does the you that wakes in the morning, clearer, steadier, stronger. Even your emotional balance is nourished here. The amygdala, that part of your brain that watches for danger, begins to loosen its grip. Its sharp edges soften. The fear you carried, that quick sting of stress, now fades gently into the background. You are not numbed. You are soothed. The night does not erase emotion. It integrates it. And so, as you drift further, you imagine yourself walking through this garden, not as a visitor, but as the caretaker of your inner world. You pass through archways of memory. You stroll beside rivers of light. And above you, glowing vines connect thoughts across impossible distances. This is your brain, not as a cold machine, but as a sacred place, organic, ever-growing, ever-healing. It works while you rest, tending to you with more devotion than you could ever imagine. And in that realization, something within you releases. You no longer feel the need to remember everything. Your brain remembers for you. You no longer try to fix every emotion. Your brain adjusts the balance, gently, in silence. Even creativity has its moment here. While you sleep, your brain combines ideas that never met before. It builds bridges from what you've seen, felt, known, and what you've only begun to dream. This is why sometimes you wake with answers, with new images, new clarity, new wonder. Because your night mind is a builder. a composer, a quiet artist working in velvet dark dot. So you lie here now, safe inside the rhythms of sleep, while the most sacred parts of your mind are hard at work, not straining, not forcing, but tending. The garden will continue to bloom long after your awareness fades dot, and when the morning comes, you will rise from this fertile place, with memories nourished, emotions sifted, and thought gently clarified. For now, though, you remain here in the care of your night mind, of your brain's quiet keepers, the glial cells that sweep, the synapses that strengthen, the neurons that rest and pulse like soft stars in the sky of your skull. You are stardust. You are story. You are stillness blooming from within dot, and as the last of your waking thoughts begin to dissolve, you feel it, the pull downward, inward, into something even deeper. You wonder, if the brain can restore so much in silence, what happens when the mind lets go completely? What awaits in the science of surrender? You lie still now, not because you're trying, but because you're done trying. Thoughts, like birds, once fluttered through your chest, but even they have grown quiet. This is the space where letting go begins, not with decision, not with control, but with soft surrender. Above you, the cottage roof fades in the dark. It no longer feels like wood and beams, but sky. Your body, heavy with rest, seems to melt into the chair, as if gravity has grown gentle dot. What is a thought, really? A flicker of energy? A breeze across the brain? It comes, it lingers, it leaves. And here, in this tender space between sleep and stillness, you start to loosen your grip on each one. You followed breath. You've listened to your heart. You've walked the garden of your mind. Now, you float. The science behind this feeling is subtle, not a shutting down, but a shift. Your prefrontal cortex, the thinking mind, begins to dim. This is the part of you that plans, that calculates, that analyzes. In waking hours, it's your spotlight. But here, now, it pulls back. The light softens. The questions grow quiet. This softening is essential. Studies show that when this part of the brain begins to rest, something beautiful happens. We stop trying to make sense of everything. And in that space, peace finds us. You begin to wander. Not through logic, but through drift. This is the default mode network, a constellation of brain regions that activates when you are at ease, when you are not focused on anything specific. It is the home of daydreams, of memory, of creativity. Don't push it forward. It simply rises, like fog in a morning field, like ink dropped into warm water. You think now not in words, but in impressions, images, half-memories, a bird in a window, a voice from long ago, a light through trees. These are not distractions. They are releases. Your brain uncoiling slowly, gently, letting itself be. This is the science of letting go. The moment when effort stops and awareness becomes observation. No longer trying to hold, no longer trying to fix, only noticing and letting it pass. You feel tension slide from your body. Your jaw unhooks. Your hands fall open. Even the muscles around your eyes relax, as if your gaze is no longer needed. Letting go is not the same as losing. It is choosing not to carry what was never yours, and your body knows how to do it. The more you release, the more your brain sends messages of safety. It's okay to sleep now. You are not needed elsewhere. Your awareness dims, not like a light switch, but like dusk falling gently across a quiet hill. The thalamus, your brain's gatekeeper of sensory information, begins to close its doors. The outside world, sound, light, movement, fades like a fading fire. You do not hear the forest anymore, not because it's gone, but because your body has chosen not to listen. The cerebral cortex slows. Brain waves drop into lower frequencies. You enter theta, then delta, slow rolling waves, like tides in the night ocean. This is where letting go becomes not an act, but a state. You do not guide the boat. You are the boat, rocked by rhythms older than words. Science tells us that this surrender is not passive. It is reparative, restorative. Healing. By letting go of conscious control, your body begins to rebuild, your immune system strengthens, your hormones rebalance, your tissues repair, all because you allowed space, because you released, because you trusted. There is something deeply human about the need to hold, to control, to grasp at answers, at certainty. But here, in this darkness, you begin to understand. Peace is not found by gripping harder, but by loosening. You've stepped away from the mind that questions. You've entered the mind that dreams. And still, somewhere, you remain aware, softly, barely. Enough to notice that your awareness is floating, unanchored, weightless. Thoughts pass like clouds. You do not name them. You do not follow them. You watch them drift, and they dissolve. You are still awake, but only just. Your body has already stepped through the threshold. Your mind lingers gently, as if waiting for one final exhale. And perhaps this is what true rest feels like. Not escape, not silence, but surrender. You no longer fear forgetting. You no longer chase remembering. You simply are. And that is enough. Outside the cottage, the wind sighs. Inside, your body is a hush, a low hum, a resting tide, and you begin to wonder what lies deeper still. If the mind can float, can the body fall? Can sleep become a place where healing is more than stillness, but a process? Can we go deeper, to the point where rest becomes restoration? The cottage is silent now. Even the fire has fallen into a soft bed of glowing coals. No more flickers, no more crackles, just warmth. Outside, the trees hold still, as if the entire forest is sleeping with you. And inside, your body begins its sacred work. This is the beginning of deep sleep, also known as slow wave sleep, the deepest, most restorative stage of rest. Here, in this dark stillness, you are not floating anymore. You are descending, sinking into a place your waking self has never touched. You do not feel it happen, but your body knows. It shifts from simply being still to actively healing. Your brain waves now move in low, slow rhythms, delta waves, rolling like thunder far beneath the surface. This is the language of true rest. The prefrontal cortex, your waking command center, goes almost completely offline. And with it goes judgment, control, thought. This is not the mind's time. This is the body's. In these hours, you do not dream. You repair. Your muscles, so often tense, now soften completely. They grow quiet, allowing microscopic tears to be restored. This repair is guided by something ancient and wise, your growth hormone, which rises like a high tide during deep sleep. It travels through your blood, bringing instructions for repair. Strengthen this tissue, rebuild this cell, renew this system. Each part of you that was strained by waking hours, your bones, your joints, your skin, now receives its care. Your cells, too, begin their quiet renewal. Every cell has a clock, a rhythm it follows, and during deep sleep, those rhythms harmonize. Your DNA, repair mechanisms awaken, mending tiny breaks that appeared through stress or time. Proteins refold. Mitochondria, your cells' powerhouses, refuel. This isn't rest. This is rebuilding. Even your immune system, so often backgrounded during the day, now steps forward. T cells and natural killer cells, your internal protectors, increase their activity. They patrol, they remember, they adjust your defenses. And all of this without your awareness, without your effort. Only because you allowed stillness to settle. You do not dream during deep sleep, but your body does. It dreams of balance, of wholeness, of strength. Even your heart beats differently here, more slowly, more rhythmically, as if rocking the rest of you into deeper repair. Your blood pressure lowers, your body temperature dips, inflammation retreats, and though your body is resting, it is far from passive. It is active in the most sacred way, like a temple being cleaned at midnight, like soil being replenished by unseen rain. And as your body heals, your nervous system recalibrates. The sympathetic system, your fight or flight wiring, steps back. In its place, the parasympathetic system takes full control. It slows everything, not to dull it, but to soothe it. This is when the nervous system remembers, I am not in danger. I am safe. I can rest, and your entire body listens. You may wonder, if this healing is so profound, why don't we feel it happening? But that is the grace of it. It does not need your permission, your awareness, your control. It needs only your stillness. Deep sleep has always been your most loyal healer. It asks nothing, but gives everything. And the more you surrender to it, the more it restores. Even your hormones, those invisible messengers, begin to align. Leptin, which tells you when you're full, rises. Ghrelin, which sparks hunger, falls. Your metabolism, so busy managing energy by day, resets. It finds its rhythm again, free from chaos or craving. And still, you sleep. Still, you heal. The cottage is silent. The forest is still. But inside you, work continues. Work that builds your tomorrow. Work that makes you whole. In this way, deep sleep is not an escape. It is an entrance into a state where you are truly known, not by mind, but by matter. This is where the language of the body is spoken without words, where the cells remember what they were made to do, where the immune system recalibrates, the bones realign, the skin reknits, and all the while you remain in the arms of night. What happens? Here cannot be rushed. It cannot be faked. It is earned not through doing, but through letting go. And when you emerge, hours or moments from now, you will not recall these repairs, but you will feel them. You will feel steadier, stronger, more whole, because every breath you've taken in stillness has given your body permission to remember itself. And in the remembering, it has rebuilt you. You are not just resting. You are renewing. And as your body continues its sacred work, something begins to stir. Once more, not in your muscles, but in your mind. Not the sharp logic of waking thought, but the soft colors of dreams. There is a moment, just after deep sleep, when the tides inside your mind begin to shift. Your body remains still, but within, a curtain rises. Welcome to the secret theater of your mind. Welcome to REM sleep, the realm of dreams. Here, the rules change. Here, logic loosens its grip, and imagination floods the stage. Your eyes, though closed, begin to move beneath their lids, darting gently left to right, as if watching something only you can see. These are rapid eye movements, the signature of REM, when your brain becomes as active as if you were awake, yet your muscles remain frozen in stillness. This paralysis is protective, a gentle safety net, so that your body doesn't act out the vivid stories unfolding behind your eyes. And what stories they are! The amygdala, your brain's emotional storyteller, lights up like a lantern. The visual cortex, too, spins scenes of light and motion, shaping landscapes from memory, mood, and meaning. Here, there is no map, no linear script, only fragments, woven into tales your conscious mind would never dare imagine. You find yourself in places that never existed, a city of stars, a hallway filled with ocean, a familiar face speaking in unfamiliar languages. These are not meaningless. Your brain is not creating chaos. It is processing. In REM sleep, Your mind sorts through emotions, test drives possibilities, and reshapes the day's memories like wet clay dot. It isn't filing events away like a cabinet. It's sculpting your experience into meaning, even the strange. Surreal elements, the flying, the falling, the impossible leaps in logic, they serve a purpose. They break boundaries. They dissolve the rigidity of daytime thought, allowing creativity to rise. This is why so many artists, writers, and scientists have found inspiration in dreams. They are not fiction. They are felt. The hippocampus, your memory's lighthouse, sends signals to the neocortex, distributing moments from the day into long-term storage. But it does more than store. It transforms dreams, allow the brain to test new paths, revisit old wounds, and even solve problems. You may wake remembering none of it, yet feel changed, lighter, wiser, unburdened in ways you can't explain. That is the dream's gift. It whispers behind the curtain of your mind, guiding you without asking for your attention, and the emotional clarity you sometimes wake with, that strange calm after grief, that quiet confidence before a choice, may well have been born on the stage of sleep. Even nightmares, those unsettling plays, serve their function. They help you face what you avoid. They offer rehearsal for real fears in a space that cannot. Harm. Your mind is brave here, free. And so you drift deeper into the act. The brainstem keeps your breathing steady. Your heart rate becomes irregular, matching the rhythm of dreams. Your body temperature fluctuates. Your brain's chemistry, dopamine, acetylcholine, rises, changing your internal landscape. In this altered state, time folds, minutes stretch, or collapse. One moment, you're a child. The next, a bird. The next, speaking to someone who's been gone for years. But these are not hallucinations. They are communications from you to you. You, the dreamer. You, the processor. You, the eternal witness to your own unfolding. The symbols may not make sense, but your body understands. A door that won't open. A voice you cannot answer. A room filling with water. These are not puzzles to be solved. They are feelings being shaped into stories. And the stories change you. In REM sleep, you become more emotionally intelligent, more adaptable, more imaginative. All while your body lies still in the quiet dark, tucked into the cottage's warmth, surrounded by stars and trees and silence. And though you may never remember these dreams, their fingerprints remain. You wake not as the same person who fell asleep. You wake renewed in unseen ways. So let the dream play continue. Let the mind wander freely. Let each scene unravel and reshape. There is no need to chase meaning, only to allow it, because dreams, for all their strangeness, are a language older than words, a form of healing beyond understanding. You rest in that knowing, your body cradled in soft stillness, your breath deep and slow, your mind spinning stories in silence. And as the final act plays out behind your closed eyes, you sense another shift coming. The colors begin to fade. The scenes dissolve like morning mist. Your eyes, still closed, grow still again. The brain quiets. The curtain falls. But before the new stage of sleep begins, you feel it, a subtle change, not in story, but in chemistry. A new rhythm, a different tide. Something else is preparing to rise. The dreams begin to dim now, not end, but retreat, slipping like mist through the cracks of your mind. In their place, a quiet stillness spreads through your body. And behind this stillness, a chemistry of perfect timing unfolds. Your sleep, though soft and silent, is not random. It is written, scripted by rhythms older than memory, etched into your bones, whispered by your blood. This rhythm is your circadian clock, your internal timekeeper, tuned not by hours on the wall, but by the rise and fall of light and dark. Every cell in your body holds a clock, tiny loops of proteins that turn on, then off. In cycles of about 24 hours dot, these clocks don't tick in sound, but in function, telling your body when to sleep, when to wake, when to heal. And the conductor of this great biological orchestra is light. When the sun falls and the world dims, your brain listens. The suprachiasmatic nucleus, a tiny bundle of neurons behind your eyes, sends word to the pineal gland. It is time. And in response, melatonin begins to flow. You do not feel it arrive, no rush, no push, only the sense that night has truly begun. Melatonin is your body's moonlight, a soft chemical lullaby. It drips gently into your bloodstream, cooling your core, quieting your senses, telling every system, rest now. It does not make you sleep. It invites sleep. It opens the door. As melatonin rises, its counterpart, cortisol, steps down. During the day, cortisol gave you alertness, energy, urgency. But now, it bows its head, allowing the night shift to begin. Other hormones, too, step into their roles. Growth hormone, as you felt in deep sleep, swells now, repairing tissue, building strength. Leptin increases, telling your body it is satisfied. There is no hunger here. Ghrelin, the hunger messenger, falls silent. Adenosine, a molecule that builds with every hour of wakefulness, peaks now, weighing gently on your brain, deepening your sleep pressure. This is not chaos. It is a chemical symphony, each hormone arriving and retreating in a rhythm as sure as the moon's pull on the tides. And your body, your beautiful, intricate body, follows this rhythm without question. There is no thinking here, only response. Even your temperature follows. It drops slightly in the evening, a cue to your body that it is safe to release the day. Your blood vessels widen, allowing heat to move to the surface and away, cooling you from the inside out. Cooling is not just comfort. It is essential. It helps trigger the sleep cycle, letting the body know it is time to surrender. In the dimness of the cottage, you feel this cooling as ease, a loosening, a permission. Your muscles are soft, your jaw is slack, your hands lie open, unconcerned with what comes next. And all the while, these silent messengers, melatonin, cortisol, leptin, adenosine, move through you like stars across a velvet sky. The timing of it all is delicate. Too much light before bed, and melatonin hides. Too much stress, and cortisol refuses to leave. But here, in this stillness, the balance is just right. The fire has long since faded. The windows glow faintly with moonlight. And your body follows night's rhythm as if it has done this 1,000 times, because it has. The circadian cycle is one of the oldest patterns on Earth. Even single-celled organisms, floating in ancient seas, follow day and night. And you are a symphony of those ancient patterns, refined by evolution, written into the folds of your biology. There is something comforting in this, that your body knows what to do, even when you don't. That while your thoughts quiet, your chemistry continues the story. It speaks a language you no longer need to translate. It speaks of cycles, of renewal, of timing. And in listening, you begin to trust it more. You trust that rest is not laziness, that stillness is not absence, that your body, even while it sleeps, is alive with purpose. You are not separate from nature. You are nature. You are moonlight turned to rhythm. You are stardust guided by hormone and cell. You are the night, made flesh. So you lie here, wrapped in blankets, bathed in quiet chemistry, allowing the moonlit language of sleep to guide you. No effort, no thought, only trust. You breathe in, you breathe out, and your body, aligned with shadow, silence, and stars, begins its slow approach toward morning. But before dawn rises, before your chemistry shifts again, there is still one more mystery unfolding within you. It happens not in blood or hormone, but in memory, in emotion, in the soft, invisible stitching of the mind. There is something happening now, quiet as breath, deep as time. Your body is still. Your breath moves like the ocean. But your mind is at work again. Not loud, not chaotic, but thoughtful. This is the part of sleep when you begin to heal from the inside out. Not your muscles, but your memories. Each day fills your mind with new experiences. Some are joyful, some are heavy, some float by, others dig deep, and every night your brain chooses what to keep and what to gently let go. It doesn't do this all at once. It does it in waves, slow, rhythmic pulses of remembering and release. This quiet process begins in the hippocampus, your brain's librarian, the keeper of short-term memory. All day, it's been gathering moments, words, impressions. But it can't hold everything. So now, during sleep, it begins to transfer those memories to the neocortex, where long-term stories are kept. This is not just a filing process. It's a rewriting. Your brain chooses how the memory feels, what meaning it carries, where it will live inside you. It's not facts it saves. It's narratives. Sleep helps you decide who you are, based not just on what happened, but how it's held. If a memory brought fear, sleep might soften it. If it brought confusion, sleep may bring clarity. And all of this is done without your effort. Just by sleeping, there's more happening here. The amygdala, your brain's emotional fire alarm, also comes to the table. During the day, it reacts quickly, startled by sound, tensed by news, tightened by stress. But during sleep, it rewinds the film. It watches again, only this time with less panic. The prefrontal cortex, now a gentle supervisor, helps calm the amygdala's intensity. It offers context, safety, a new way of seeing. This is how sleep helps us process trauma, how it makes pain more manageable, how it takes what overwhelmed us and folds it gently into memory, not erased, but soothed. You lie here now, beneath the quiet beams of the cottage ceiling, and feel none of this happening, but it is. You may have noticed it before, those mornings when a problem felt lighter, when grief loosened just slightly, when confusion cleared without warning. That was your sleeping brain doing its silent work. Sleep is your mind's soft editor. It trims the edges. It highlights the truth. It rearranges the pages of your life with kindness. This kindness is chemical. 2. Sleep boosts levels of serotonin and dopamine, balancing mood, fostering hope. It regulates norepinephrine, calming the alert system. Even BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, rises during restful sleep, helping you grow new neural connections. This means that while you rest, your brain is not only healing what was, but preparing for what comes next. It is building resilience, preparing you to remember more clearly, to feel more deeply, to respond, not react. And all this is happening in the dark. Here, in this quiet cottage, your story is being rewritten, not by force, but by flow. You are not losing memories. You are integrating them, letting them settle into the deeper soil of self. The brain does not forget. It curates, and what it chooses to keep. It refines. You are not just resting. You are becoming. And that becoming is not always loud. Sometimes it is breath, sometimes stillness, sometimes just the grace of being carried by something wiser than thought. You may dream again tonight. You may not. You may remember. You may wake with only a feeling, but that feeling, lightness, release, a soft clarity, is proof of the work, because your sleeping brain is not idle. It is wise and loving and loyal. Even when you forget it, Even when you're too tired to try, it keeps caring for your story. It holds you. You who may have struggled to find meaning in the noise of the day, now find healing in the hush of the night. So trust it. This mind of yours, it knows the way. It has walked with you since birth, and in sleep, it gently untangles every thread you gathered while awake. And as your brain continues to stitch your story together, moment by moment, emotion by emotion, you begin to sense something shifting beyond thought, a feeling of movement, of return, the body restored, the mind reorganized. And now, the edge of morning approaches, but not quite yet. There's still one threshold left, one gentle turning from night into day. A faint light seeps in, not through windows, but through the edges of your awareness. Subtle, soft, like the first brushstroke of dawn on a blank sky. You do not wake abruptly. There is no alarm in this return. Only the feeling of rising from still water, not swimming, not climbing, just lifting. Your breath remains slow. Your limbs remain heavy with comfort. But something in you is changing. A turning inward that now leans outward. The tide, having rolled in through the night, now begins to drift back. This is the final phase of your sleep journey. Not an end, but a re-entry. Your body, the great traveler of the night, has crossed deep oceans of healing. And now it returns, whole and ready. Your brain waves, once slow as deep rivers, begin to ripple a little faster. Theta becomes alpha. Alpha begins to shimmer with waking beta. It's like sunlight through mist, not harsh, but golden. The thalamus, which dimmed the world for you, now opens again, welcoming sound, light, sensation. You hear the wind in the trees, the soft creak of the wooden beams above, the quiet breath in your chest. The cortisol that had hushed itself overnight now rises gently. Not in panic, but in preparation. It's the hormone of readiness, of beginning. And with it comes your return. Your eyes remain closed, but behind them, the brain is lighting its lanterns. Regions associated with movement, with language, with memory and focus, all begin to stir, like a city waking before dawn, not bustling, not loud, but alive again, the melatonin which guided you through. The night, like moonlight, fades now. Its work is done. The night is complete. And still, you linger in this borderland, not quite asleep, not yet awake, a sacred in-between, a bridge. Here you begin to reflect, not with thought, but with feeling. What did the night give you? Perhaps a dream you can't recall, but whose calm still lingers. Perhaps the feeling that something heavy was quietly lifted. Perhaps nothing you can name, only the quiet knowledge that you are no longer the same. Because sleep is not escape. It is evolution, a nightly rebirth where your cells are rebuilt, your memories refiled, your emotions soothed. And you who entered this cottage weary, now lie in a body that feels a little more yours. You are still, but no longer tired. You are slow, but no longer stuck. You are ready. The sunlight outside has begun to move, casting pale gold through the curtains. Your breath deepens. Your hands stretch softly. You feel your body now not as weight, but as grounding. Your fingers flex. Your shoulders shift. The brain has returned to full readiness. But it is not hurried. Because now you know waking does not have to be a rush. It can be a rising. And in this rising, you carry something with you. Not a memory, not a dream, but a rhythm. The rhythm of sleep, of healing, of balance. It echoes in your breath, in your heartbeat, in the way you look at the light. The cottage is fading. The embers are cool, but the stillness it gave you remains, because this place was never just outside of you. It was you, a part of you that knows how to rest, how to let go, How to rebuild quietly, in the dark. You open your eyes. The ceiling above is familiar. A world returns, full of color, sound, thought. Within you, something is quieter, more aligned. You do not need to rush from this feeling. You can carry it, because you are not leaving rest behind. You are bringing it with you. You are not returning to a noisy world empty-handed. You are returning with a full cup, and every time you sleep, you will return again. To stillness. 2. Breath. To the garden of your mind. To the rhythm of your heart. To the science written in your cells. To this soft, sacred remembering of who you are beneath the noise. This is the gift of the night, not darkness, but transformation. You rise. Now, not to chase the day, but to meet it restored. And now, as our story gently fades, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for spending this moment with me. Your presence here means the world, and your support helps me create even more peaceful journeys. Just for you. If this helped you rest, please consider liking, subscribing, or simply coming back tomorrow night. Until then, stay cozy, stay kind, and may your dreams tonight be soft, serene, and full of wonder. Good night, my friend. With warmth, David.